Hey, how's it going? Doing my daily vlog a little bit later than usual. I actually drove up to Charlotte, North Carolina, so I'm up here and getting ready to go to a computer vision kind of demonstration tomorrow. I'm gonna be going up to Raleigh to check out some stuff that people are doing with vehicle alignment systems. But just that was really my morning. Got up at like 5 a.m. and drove up here, and I've been working ever since. Just working from home, working out of my parents' place because they live up here. My boss is like relatively close, and I just would prefer to kind of like get to see my family and work from home up here, and it's been pretty good. Um, we're changing a lot of things with the way that we're doing our app right now, so that's kind of cool. We are actually pursuing two independent apps, an iOS app and a Java app. So today I've spent most of my time working with the Android side of things because I know how to do Android development. I know how to do iOS, but God, Swift is just like really, it's one of those languages where syntactically it's so poorly made that it really takes away from programming. And I think that's why like a lot of hardcore people like preferred Android. It makes sense. Like you're writing things in Java, and it if you have like pattern recognition, you're just used to seeing code the way that you write it, then that makes sense. Whereas in Swift, it's almost like they try to reinvent the way that you program things, even down to just casting objects. Like there really is no reason to improve on putting two parentheses in front of something and casting it as a data type. Like that's just a standard thing that you see in a programming class. So then you have to learn that on top of all this other stuff with Swift. And oh, don't even get me started on the Xcode editor. The Xcode editor is so bad. It's so bad. You have to drag and drop. You drag and drop elements from the UI into into your code. Like I feel like I'm gonna be an idiot though. I feel like in like 5 years that's gonna be the way that programming is. People are gonna look back at me and they're gonna be like, "You idiot! That's the way it was going, and you didn't conform." So I guess maybe I'm just like ranting, like maybe like an old C programmer was ranting when I don't know Python first came out. And they're like, "You just have to import stuff now," and I love Python. I think it's great. So all right, yeah, I'll stop bashing on Swift. It's not that bad. But if you think that you're just gonna like go from doing Android apps straight into like doing Swift, understand that there are some serious nuances to making iOS apps that are very different from Android apps. They're like really, really different. Like not just like a simple like way that you change just it's different. Like it's really different. Like in Android, there's Maven and JCenter, and then in Swift, or not in Swift, in iOS, get to use CocoaPods, and that's a whole thing in and of itself. Like there's pod files for different libraries that you want to use. So if it's worth, I think it's worth learning it. I mean, you might as well dabble in it, right? Like what do you have to lose? So definitely check it out. But today I've been mainly working in Android Studio, and pretty great. I like this library called Volley. I have no idea what's out there as far as posts and I guess RESTful, I don't know what to call it, HTTP libraries in Android. I don't know of a lot of them, but I do know of this one called Volley. And it was pretty straightforward. I mean, you got post, get, put, and delete. That's all you really need. So I'm working on that. Maybe I'll make a video about making an app in Android Studio, because I ran into some things. I watched some YouTube videos on this stuff, and it's pretty different. It's changed quite a bit. Android Studio is different. There's like little changes, but man, sometimes it's so great that you hit Alt Enter and like it imports different libraries. Like the fact that they have incorporated the stuff from JetBrains. If you don't know what JetBrains is, wow, your life, it depends on what type of person you are. If you're a masochist, which in some languages I'm like, in C, I would just prefer things to be the difficult way, because that's just my own like way of doing things. But if you like things that kind of help you write code more quickly, JetBrains designs these plugins, I guess you could call them, for editors that like the text snippets are super useful, very, very useful. And the hotkeys are very useful too. And like, wow, I mean, I noticed it when I was writing some C# code at my last job. I noticed how powerful it was because it took me no time at all to make, pretty complex programs just using those text snippets, and that's all it is. It's just a way to speed up your programming. It's just a toy. It's not like a thing you have to learn. Like, it's cool. It's nice if you know that. It makes your life easier. Doesn't make you a more knowledgeable developer or anything. You're actually probably better off if you're starting out to never use that, because you should learn it the hard way. I don't know. I'm that type of way. But yeah, I really like Android Studio. They have incorporated the stuff from JetBrains, kind of like it has IntelliJ built into it, and it's pretty useful. It's great. I got this little mini demo app kind of loaded up that we use to send our post requests, and then we're calling functions on this server using it, and taking things out of our progressive web app and moving them in there. And the thing that really created a lot of problems for us in the progressive web app was using Ajax, because Ajax has to run when the page is loaded, and it was taking a very long time to do some photo uploads using Ajax, so long that we decided to like pull back on it, and we're going to do stuff in we're going to do stuff in we're going to either do stuff in Android or we're going to do stuff in iOS, and we're actually doing that now. So the reason being, when you actually run a thing in the background in Android, it's running on the phone's operating system. It's running on a thread that isn't going to crash. Whereas what we were doing with the progressive web app, when we were trying to load multiple photos through an Ajax call with an open page, we were finding out that people were just like leaving the page somehow. Like, they were figuring out how to leave the page or closing the app. We're not waiting long enough, or it was just taking a ridiculously long time to upload the photos. And it's kind of like we're in the society now where that stuff should happen in the background, and it's not working very well for us the way that we're doing things. So we're going to just completely switch to doing it in Android, which that's the way it goes, man. That's it. That's software. You got to learn how to roll with the punches. And if you think like knowing one language is going to be enough to do your job, it's probably not going to make it very far. I don't know. In a day, I could probably touch like 5 or 6 different languages, because it's all the same thing. It's just, do you know the underlying method of what you're doing? That's the important thing. You want to understand, like, you want to know like libraries. That's important. But you really want to have like a way, like I guess the biggest key is that you make a plan for how you're going to do something, and you take a large problem, you break it down to smaller pieces, and then you iteratively go through that plan, and you try and break down your problem into smaller pieces. And as you're going through that plan, you're like checking your progress and what you're doing. And if that's the way that you work, there's an old saying, everything looks like a nail to a man with a hammer, or something like that. And that's how I see it. If you can do that, everything else will look like a nail, because your plan will be the hammer. You'll be able to just get through anything. It's crazy how transcendent that is through life. Like, anything in life, taking that down into taking a much larger problem, breaking it down into simple pieces. I mean, negotiation, relationships, family, I don't know, personal stress, all that stuff. It's really, that's probably, I don't know, it's very arrogant to say this, but that's probably why a lot of software developers are such fantastic entrepreneurs. Think about it for a while. There's a lot of entrepreneurs who are software developers. A lot. And maybe that's why. I don't know. But yep, working today. I'm kind of excited about the trip. Kind of excited to go up to Raleigh. I went to school at Chapel Hill, so it's going to be cool to drive back through there. I'm not going to really stop in school or anything. But yep, Still gonna be cracking out some FE prep tomorrow morning, but for now, just hanging out here with. Come here, come on, with my favorite little girl here, Gigi. She's really my dog, but she lives with my parents. So, but yeah, we're hanging out, we're coding, we're doing some stuff. She's good. All right.